Do you know that you are vibration more than you are anything else? You have heard us say the words, but do you really know it? Do you know that everything that you perceive is a vibrational interpretation? Do you know that? That what you see with your eyes, you see because your eyes interpret vibration and reflect it back to you, that you're actually translating vibration into vision. You're translating vibration into sound. It's easier to know it about sound, isn't it? When you think about sound, you accept the vibration of sound. You can see sound waves, but you can see light waves too. In other words, there are frequencies that you are interpreting. Even your nose is a vibrational interpreter. That's why different things smell different ways. They have different vibrations. So when you decide to accept that you are a vibrational interpreter and that your emotions are the most significant interpreter of vibration that exists for you, and you understand that what your emotions are interpreting, your emotions interpret the vibrational frequency relationship between what you are perceiving through your physical format and what the larger part of you is perceiving in the same moment, in the same time, about the same thing. So when you feel negative emotion, it means your interpretation is not the same as the source within you. When you feel positive emotion, it means your interpretation is the same. So let's say you're looking at something that someone has done and you're not liking it. And you are condemning them for their arrogance or for their stupidity from your point of view, or for their lack of morality from your point of view. You've decided that what they are doing or what they have done is inappropriate, and you feel that emotion within you that you would describe as complaint, blame, rage maybe. That emotion is telling you that you have a different point of view of the source within you. When you feel negative emotion, that means source doesn't agree. When you feel negative emotion, it means source really doesn't agree. It means you're in a disagreement with yourself. And you say, yeah, I know I am. And if they'd stop doing that, then I could come back into agreement. If they would behave, if they would become moral, if they would become cooperative, if they would become pleasant, if they would do what I need them to do so that I can feel good when I see it. And we say, but do you understand that you're looking for love in all the wrong places? That you're asking cooperation where you have no power to control it, and you're not looking for cooperation within yourself, which you do have the power to control. You have the power to merge and blend with your broader perspective. But first you got to know that that broader perspective is there, and then you've got to know what it feels like when you're blended with it and what it feels like when you're not, and then you have to make a decision to blend with it if you ever want to feel good on a consistent basis. There, we've said it all. That's everything that we know that you mostly have forgotten. You know it sometimes. You knew it completely before you came into this physical body. And when you return to that knowledge, your world will be bright and shiny for you. Because what it will mean is you will have learned through practice to choose the frequency that meshes with who you really are and what you really know. And in that full power, you'll feel good. You never feel good unless you're in your full power. And what is your full power? Your full power is utter clarity. Your full power is vitality and well-being. Your full power is love flowing through you. Your full power is that attitude or feeling of appreciation. Your full power is what you're looking for everywhere you go. But for most of you who are human, your beasts have it figured out better than you do. Most of you who in your humanness are really looking for circumstances to exist or perform or behave in a way that your mere observation of them puts you into alignment with who you are. It's sort of like saying, all right, world, I'm weak. I do not have the power of faith. I do not have the power to feel something before it manifests. So I need the manifestation first, and then I'll have a knee-jerk reaction to it. So I'm going to petition my government, I'm going to harass my mate, I'm going to instruct my children, and I'm going to demand from my friends that they behave in accordance with what I need to feel good so that I can live happily ever after. And we say, how's that working out? Well, we need more laws. We need tougher rules. We need more enforcers. We need more information. We need more cooperation. We need more people to be aware of what I need in order for me to feel good, and then I need the means with which to make them do it. And we say again, how's that working out? Working out with your kids? Not so much. When they were little and weak, maybe. Working out with your mate? Not so much. Working out with your government? Weather cooperating? In other words, those manifestations that you sometimes think that you need to behave so that you can then observe them and feel better. Now, don't get us wrong. We know that it's lovely to look around the variety and to tune yourself to the best of it, because the more you're looking for the positive aspects of what surrounds you, the better you feel. But there is something else that you can do that almost none of you are doing. Religions have talked about it from the beginning of conversation as they talk about what faith is. And what faith is vortex work. What faith is having the ability to focus in a way that aligns you with your power, that aligns you with your clarity, that aligns you with your love, that aligns you with your well-being, that aligns you with that good feeling, that aligns you, having the ability to focus in a way that aligns you with all that is good without having the right now evidence that makes that easy to do. That's what faith is. Faith is belief in who you really are, knowledge of the laws of the universe, an understanding of law of attraction, and the belief that with time and with focus that you can bring yourself into vibrational alignment with anything and everything that you desire. And when you do, the absence of resistance will then allow the manifestation to follow. Faith in the unseen means that wanted is certain.
Good morning.
It is.
I'm wondering how I can help to reduce the resistance that I have to change. So a little bit of background, we probably, like many people, change to something you feel like you have to have a lot of effort, put a lot of energy, a lot of attention to it. And
only because you're not doing vortex first.
Right.
If you do vortex first, it's effortless. Right. If you don't do vortex first, it's really hard and turns out crummy.
Well, and I'm making a lot of progress. So my financial life has changed dramatically. My business life has changed dramatically. I'm making the improvements, and it's like the change is happening, and there's a tremendous amount of effort that goes into accomplishing that change. And so when I listen to you talk, and I realize,
what kind of effort?
Actual physical effort, get up early, work late, do whatever I think feels like in the past it takes effort to accomplish something. And so rather than, I'm trying to allow things more than make things more.
So when you're talking about change, give us just a little bit what you mean by change. In other words, are things changing for the better? And that's not hard to take, is it?
No.
So, but there's something underlying your conversation when you're talking about change.
I think it's,
what other things have changed?
What other things have changed? I do, in the past, I used to maybe not come to a seminar here on a work day. I might not have done that. So I'll do that.
Most didn't.
Right. And yet, somehow there's a feeling that I would like to reduce that feeling of there'll be a price to pay for that, or I'll have to work extra hard to get caught up as a result of that. And that's where I'm making the changes, I'm feeling the improvement, but it isn't coming as easy as I know that it should be.
Well, one of the things that is most hindering to most people is in change. The reason we ask you if it feels to you that things are changing for the better.
And it does.
So if things are changing for the better, then you're in this positive flow. In other words, your anticipation is in a place where you're not introducing resistance, which equals struggle and effort. But because you're feeling some struggle and some effort, it lets us know that there's some awareness. In your experience, we're talking not necessarily financially, but maybe, mostly emotionally, have you been in a place that felt better to you overall than you are in right now? Was life easier? Because you're talking about effort. So was there a time when it felt like less effort? Was there a time in your life when it felt like it was just moving along more easily?
I would have to say probably yes.
We would say certainly yes. It's all right. It's true of almost everyone. But here's the thing that's so interesting. Life is at its best now. Not just because the vortex is ripe with things that are forthcoming in manifestation, but because you've expanded into a better place. It's always better where you are, no matter how it seems to look. Because the evolution of who you are and your relationship with who you really are, it's always better than it ever seems. That's a hard thing to hear, because it's like as people move through time, often they yearn for more youthful times, or as they move into a new work environment that they haven't quite got all figured out, they yearn for a time when they had it more figured out. There's this comparison that is a pretty common thing that people do that does not serve you very well. And if we could convince you, and we can't do it with words, we will offer a lot of words here in an effort to convince you. But if we could convince you that you are at your best of times now, if you could accept that there is always this new standard, there's this new norm that you are living, that you are now from this new norm reaching into something that is better, and you make no comparisons about anything that was before, you would release a great big wad of resistance, and you would feel energy begin to move, and when energy begins to move, the effort factor can come way, 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 way down. Because what the effort factor is every single time, we love telling you this, whether you can hear it completely or not, the effort factor is always about bucking your own resistance. That's what every bit of the feeling of effort always is. It's about bucking resistance, which only exists because there's contradiction going on in your vibration. And there's something about, we've used the words, a lot of people have, but we've used the words making peace with what is as a way of beginning the explanation of this, that as you accept what is as what is, this is where I am. And then you diffuse it immediately by saying, it's where I am, but it's temporary because the vortex is really where I'm going. We offered the best analogy that we've ever offered recently about you get your new car, and while they're building it, you say to them, you know that windshield that you usually put out there? I want it in the floorboard. Don't even put one out there, because I always look right where I am. And so I'm just going to be looking where I am and hoping for the best, and of course, relative to what you're doing out on the highway, you know how ridiculous that is. Looking where you are is too late. It's too late. You want to be looking where you're going. But it's not, we don't mean it in the sense that what we mean is you want to look out there where you're going, because that's where all the joy is. That's where all the alignment is. That's where all the energy is. And that's where the effort factor isn't.